Yeah, it's a great movie, but the question I have is, let's start really at the end. The ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Now I know that the ending is terrific. It really, I think, brings the movie home. But there was an original ending that you had. Can you describe that for the folks that are here and tell us what happened to that ending?
Oh yeah, it was extraordinary. It's about $1 million worth of tabletop animation, which is, again, by the way, I didn't lie. There was nothing digital with the plant, but there were 4 optical things, which was when the plant got electrocuted, which is bogus, I think, but nevertheless, and a few other little zaps in the flower shop. But about 4, and then there was the subway and back was an optical. They used to be called opticals, but nothing else. That was it. To answer your question, Richard Conway had the original ending was the plant killing both Audrey and Seymour, and the plant taking over the world. That was the original ending. We filmed the entire thing. Richard Conway worked about a year on it. Which is kind of a B-movie thing where the plants are coming down New York and the cars are being thrown up in the air and the Brooklyn Bridge and that swaying with a big plant on there. Just, brilliant, brilliant work. But I had to give him a call, sadly, terrible call, saying we couldn't use his stuff. The reason was I shot for about 5 months in London, and I guess you lose perspective. Howard Ashman and I, in the beginning, said to David Geffen, we wanted to have the original ending where they 2 die. And David says, you can't do that. And we said, we really want that. So David supported us. Turns out he was right. What happened was that we went to San Jose for the first preview. And the audience was incredible, like you guys. It was applauding after every number. And I remember the heads of Warner's at that time, Bob Daly and Terry Semple right in front of me, and they were like so happy until we killed Audrey and Seymour, and it became an icebox. It was, so I knew what happened was, to those of you who have ever been in those screenings, those previews, you answer cards, you answer questions, and one of the most important questions they ask is, would you recommend this? And the bottom line, you have to have like a 55% recommend in order to release it. Ours was 13%. It was an unmitigated disaster, a total disaster. And they hated us for killing the lead. So I asked David Geffen and Warner's, could I try it in Los Angeles? We tried it. Same thing happened, about 16%. We had no choice. They wouldn't release it, and Howard and I knew exactly what we had to do. And we went back to London for 2 weeks and reshot, and this was the ending. And we never used Richard's brilliant work. That's what happened.
Now, how long was the ending that you cut, and will we ever see it in its original form on some sort of DVD release?
It might be. Warner's right now is having, I think, a DVD Blu-ray release of Photoshop that's going to come out in October, Halloween. I'm told. I have nothing to do with it. I'm thrilled about it. But I don't know. You have to ask Warner's. I'm just not a part of that. I'm not in the decision part. I'm thrilled about it, but we'll see.
There's been a lot of talk recently about a remake of Little Shop of Horrors, and I was wondering what you thought about that, first of all, and secondly, if you think that enough time has passed that the original ending might actually make it into the movie this time around.
I'm hoping I don't know if you heard, but the question was, she's hoping the original ending will come back on the DVD, and the other is asking me my opinion about the new Little Shop of Horrors that's rumored to be made. I don't know anything about it. Funny, these things happen, like Dirt on the Scoundrel on stage. I knew nothing about it. I knew Chris called me about Death at the Funeral, so I knew about that, but I'm really nothing to do with it. I think the fellow who would play Seymour would be terrific. It's undoubtedly going to be all digital, right? So it all depends how good it is. If the script is great, it stays with the spirit of what Howard does. What I did see, and again, I'm talking about me because I'm here, but there's so many people help. My goal on this thing was to keep the spirit of the off-Broadway play. So, on purpose, I didn't make it a big musical. I made it a very tight musical. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed, probably don't. There's only 2 crane shots in the entire movie. That's all. Usually, big movies have big crane shots, but I wanted to make sure it was very tight and had that energy. Now, if this new movie, if they do it, if that energy and vitality is still there, then that's cool, you know.
How about, way in the back? Yes, you. No, look behind you, right there. No, you.
First off, by sheer coincidence, before I knew all of this, I stumbled upon the original ending on YouTube in black and white.
Right.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I can see why people reacted, why they reacted. I wanted to ask, would you think we'd be able to get away with this movie today? Because it takes a lot of risks, and it's somewhat odd, and its tone is very, very precise, and I'm not sure today that people would take such a risk. I'm wondering if it would be remade, what differences do you think would be in it as a studio movie?
As a studio movie today, I have a feeling be homogenized. I have a feeling be flattened. That's my feeling. Because today, the studio needs to appeal to the broadest group of people. And when you want to please the broadest group of people, you leave the spikes out. You flatten things a bit. That's my feeling. But who knows until they do it. The ending you saw, I was reminded, I was going to say something about that. I forgot. Damn. Okay, lost it.
There are also a lot of long shots that for a musical, the shots are relatively long, not cut up like most musicals these days.
Right. Yeah, I was very fortunate that David Geffen really supported. It was a bitch to shoot. I mean, okay, I'll tell you something, okay? And I'm not proud of this. The original budget that David had was $9 million. He asked me to write a $9 million musical. I said I couldn't do that. Just write a rewrite. It was Howard's musical. Believe me, it was all his. I just did editing. It got up to $15 million. I then went over budget another $15 million. It was hairy. And I'm not proud of it, but I learned a great deal, and I think David Geffen was the one who really deserved a lot of credit for supporting it, you know? But none of this stuff could have been done if he hadn't had that money, because this kind of stuff, you just can't do anymore. I mean, this stuff's, you know, with 30, 40 puppeteers on the ground, doing 30 takes, the music harmonized, 16 frames, 12 frames, 24 frames, all that stuff. You can't spend the studio time anymore, you know. So I was very fortunate to have that opportunity.
Okay, so we're running out of time here too. This is my second.
Hello, I'm pretty much a big fan. I was even been watching those old kind of Wilkins coffee commercials and the Kern's bread.
That's old.
I love those commercials, even though how violent they are. But I have a question about the original ending and whatnot.
Yeah.
Recently in an interview you said that after the test screenings you pretty much like got rid of it and took it out. But the question I have is, do the original negatives for the original ending exist?
They got all the elements. Yeah, they exist.
So if they were to ever do the intended cut, they could just re-edit it.
Redo the music, sound effects, everything. They got the elements.
And what happened to the extended feeding scene, like with Oren's head and the extended Meek Shall and Herod
cut that out
scene?
because it was too bloody for people.
What about Meek Shall and Herod, where you see Meek Shall and Herod, where Seymour becomes a plant, in fact? And,
Yeah, I cut that out because it didn't work.
And ping pong.
Huh?
Ping pong.
And ping pong, right? You really know it, don't you?
Yeah, I was watching the outtakes earlier today.
Oh, well, thanks so much.
All right, have a good day.